On that note, circling back to our own training, I'm sure while it can be both humbling and exciting at the same time to maybe reboot one's training, come in fresh, start from the beginning again, learning a different way or maybe a perceived more correct way of forging the body and doing something. What are your reactions? It must be amusing yet see yourself sometimes in students that maybe they're excited about achieving a new way of using their body and doing it correctly, but yet too soon think, oh, I have it, not realizing there's so much more. Like, you know what I mean?
This is a very limited view. It tells a lot about the student. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is good to be happy, it is good to think, oh, I have it, but if it's for 1 second, it's better. That's the first thing. There is no achievement in classical martial art. I don't like the word achievement. I don't use it. For me, achieve means it's finished. It's end up. Salut, goodbye. That's what I think. If you think achievement, if you think in terms of result, achievement, productivity, or, oh, I have a new thing, oh, I can... When you know how long it takes just to change the paradigm of the way you think, when you understand how it is difficult to learn how to unlearn, and especially when you still live in the same group of people who move the same way, think the same way, and no one is challenging you, and the only challenge you take is a fake, weak challenge just in order to put you in the front of everyone. Well, my friend, you know how I call this? There is a saying, very easy and simple. There is the art that supports the ego, all right, or the ego who support the art. So what is it? The art that supports the ego, it's someone who have a rank and he's always saying, I have a rank, I am this, I am that, I have learned. So it's me and then the art. And this is someone who always put him in the front. Someone who pretends to be humble, someone who's going to use everything, every word, every knowledge he have to turn to him. I am, I did, I know, they came to me. This kind of people, most of the time, they end alone, or people come a little bit because they doesn't know and they leave. And then you have the ego that supports the art. It's someone who doesn't talk about his rank, who doesn't talk about his achievement, who doesn't talk about I did this. No, he said, I keep on practice. I'm still a student of the art. A true master always study. A true master is always involving. A master never stops study. A human being who stops study, who stops to have this kind of intellectual curiosity. It's very sad, unfortunately, when you look how the world is. So in the classical martial art, if you just focus on your thing and you don't look the other, you don't learn from the other, even if it's maybe another style, completely different at the first approach, but not yet. You learn to open yourself. You learn to be more rich inside. And there is nothing more than the richness of the heart, than the mediocrity of presenting yourself like the new one, the new wannabe, etc., etc. A lot of people want to live large, have many rank, have many katana, being the master of this, and at the end of what? Sometimes just a student, boom, direct in the face, and it's down. So this is dangerous to think like that, but if they do it, it's fine. You know, it's their path, and they will fail. Just a question of time.
Here's a fun question for you along those lines. In your experiences throughout your training, in your career, in your life, training with people such as Ishizuka Sensei, Hatsumi Sensei, have there been many moments that still stay with you in your head when you're being uke or training with them where they did something and you're just like, wow, how did he do that? What was that? That hurt? Where did it come from? Moments like that just amazed you as you were coming through your process.
Yes, of course, still.
Yeah.
But I think everyone have this, you know, whatever in Aikido, some master who met Ueshiba Sensei and did something with him, or in Karate, whatever the style, it could be in Goju-ryu, Shito-ryu, Kyoshi-ryu. Of course, there is this, and this is what is constitutive, what is going to constitute and push you to keep on practice or not. But at the same time, we need to be very careful with those moments. You have to again, put them in the context. What was your age? What was your level? What happened at that moment? How did you attack, for real or not? Sometimes, you think you attack for real, you believe that you're real, that you're straight, that you do the things, but actually something inside you, your education, the fact that the situation doesn't allow you to express yourself, you're scared or something like that, or maybe you don't want to be impolite. You don't want to break the protocol. Oh, he's rude, he attacked the teacher for real, what is that, etc. All this might influence what happened. And maybe, sometimes you want to look the thing so beautiful that you forget to completely, deeply see what really happened at that time. So this is about the individual and his heart, who he is, what he look for, and where he's going to go. Now, to answer to your question based on my cheminement, we'll say it in French, which is not finished, I don't see this as an achievement, of course. Many moments like this happen. I kept them for me. They are beautiful images and they push me to practice. But not only with those masters, also a talk with different researchers. I had the chance to meet a great university professor who have great knowledge. They were not practicing martial art, but they were touched by the movement and understand the necessity of this in a health point of view. And they push me in this way, whatever they are Japanese, French, because of course from French university, a lot of Japanese university, and of course few researchers. I'm talking about scholars here, not internet researcher or Wikipedia. I'm talking of people who have a PhD, who are professor, people when they look a text, they know directly where it comes from and they ask the right question. All. I mean, I'm touched when I just look breakdance. Just seeing how it does. I mean, I like to see even movies like Yip Man or anything like this, just the choreography. And I say, wow. Here at the moment, my kids' mind say, wow, do you see how he did pop the legs? Of course, it's made up, but it's cool. Yeah. And you need things like that to push you to go deeper.
Very cool. Well, along the lines of your research, whether it was for your PhD thesis or the work that you do now, what's been like the craziest or most unexpected piece of maybe information you didn't expect to learn or find while going through documents or some artifacts? Of course, as a true researcher, you're looking with neutrality, not with an objective, of course. But in that search, did you learn something that you were surprised to find and didn't expect within that culture or time period in history?
There is a lot of things like that.
Yeah.
The first things which is good about the research and the study on an academic way, it's the amount of time you spend in a library with scroll, with book, sometime for searching something you have in mind. And then the more you dig, you find something that's completely different from what you're looking for. You were not came from that, and it leads you to another thing, which is great. But you have to come back because you have a certain rules to follow. And this happened many, many times. Sometimes digging in a school of Jiu-Jitsu, in the history of a master of Judo, or Karate, or Chinese martial art. Wow, open a door incredible. That remind you the human affect and effect that you should never forget. One thing, a good example is, now I won't talk about the example because it's in the next book I'm writing. It's going to be published, but it is something I've been deeply touched by that. And just the meaning, reading this, it tells a lot about how the technique, how the master of those ryuha were seen by the people at their time. And it tells a lot. And this is, I think, anything that touch you should allow you to cultivate more humbleness. And not say, oh, I find, I'm the one. You know what he said? No, at that moment, no. I think you find something that touch you, that's great, that open doors. You need to be very kind to give it to the other. That's the first thing, without asking any money or anything like that. You find it, it was giving to you, so you have to give it to the other. You're just a canal, you know, a vector. And at the moment you find it, you should dig more, deeper into the humbleness path in order to have another chance to find again. It's all about humbleness.
That's cool. I can respect that for sure. Well, based on what you just said, the lecture series that you've been doing on Onmitsu Kage for the past few years, people have been enjoying them.
Thank you very much. I'm happy. Yes.
You've touched on a lot of very deep subjects related to life and the dedicated practitioner of Bujutsu and martial arts, and in the Confinement Chronicles, and also One Day One Gokui. Do you have any plans for a new lecture series, and if so, what will it encompass?
Here it is. The plan is there. We finished. It's going to be a little bit more complicated. You need to level up each time. Mm-hmm. That's the meaning again of Ryu Nagare. I can give the title right now. It's called Master of the Past. So Bujutsu, Master of the Past. Life and Psychology. So by psychology, it's also to explain what was the state of mind when happened a certain combat, a certain meeting, a certain experience of the practice. And this will be based on a textbook. Actually, it's many textbooks. There is 26, if my memory is good, but I need to check it. Written in the 17th century. It's in Kambun, so Chinese. And the plan is to do twice per month. A little bit like I did for the Ichinichi Ichigokui, One Day Gokui. And each master of each Ryuha, and the first Ryuha will be Tenshin Shoden Katori Shinto Ryu. The master is Isasacho Isai. So I'm going to start by read in Japanese, Kambun Japanese, translate directly in the front of the camera, and then explain what is written by using many other texts in order to enlighten, support, sometimes go against what have been written. And I'm going to do this it's going to be available, I hope, next month, because I'm working again. It's a lot of work. I hope to cover every main master of Japan, which we talk about many Ryuha. For sure, the primary current that I respect so much and study so much, like what is known as Kashima no Tachi. So it's that include the three Tenshin Shoden Katori Shinto Ryu, Kashima Shinkage Ryu, Kashima Shinto Ryu. Then we're going to have the Nen Ryu, which is one of is the second current of classical martial art in Japan. Then we're going to have Kage Ryu, then Shinkage Ryu, then Yagyu Shinkage Ryu, and other Ryuha. I will also cover the main Jujutsu or Ryuha, Takenochi Ryu, Seigo Ryu, etc., Shibukawa Ryu. So I'm going to read the story of the master, and we're going to try to, how can I say, to make it alive. And to take from inside what is good for us today. That's one of the and another book, I hope ready in a few months, on classical martial art and many other things ready for the future.
Well, that's cool. That stuff, along with the new training videos we've been filming, they've been very interesting, very fun.
Thank you, Mark.
Working with you on all these things.
It's always a pleasure to work with you too, Mark. Thank you very much for that.
I appreciate you sitting down to answer some of these questions.
Pleasure is mine. Pleasure is mine. Thanks everyone for all the questions they ask. I'm sure there is more in the future. We will try to answer again. And what can I say? It's all about practice. Never forget to practice. Never forget to go deep. Never forget to listen, to be aware. This is what classical martial art is. If you want to be the man, try to learn to be a good practitioner.